Welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today, Tuesday, the 26th of September. Quite a quiet news day for Celtic. A couple of new news stories regarding Celtic, and also today going to pose a question for which I've popped a poll into the community section to see which of the two options to replace Joe Hart when Joe Hart is serving his red card ban. Which of the two options you would prefer, plus a little bit of background stats for the two options Celtic will have to replace him for the red card ban. Before we get going with the actual video, please, if you can, tick the subscribe button and tick the like button so we can get the subscriber numbers up to the next level and hopefully get these videos seen by more Celtic fans and prospective Celtic fans. Now, interesting news coming out of Celtic today that Celtic are stepping up their new contract talks with Matt O'Reilly. Celtic are very keen to reward Matt O'Reilly's performances this season and his performances with Celtic the last couple of seasons. He is becoming more and more widely admired and is expected to be called up to the full Denmark international squad for the next international break in a couple of weeks' time. Denmark are expected to, in the next year or two, lose two of their veteran midfield stars, Delaney and Eriksson, and so are looking to bring in younger options into their full squad with a view to them gaining experience and training with other teammates. It also is expected Denmark might well opt to bring O'Reilly into the squad and give him a game in the next international break, as there is interest from other countries in calling him up to their squad. And apparently Matt O'Reilly is also qualified to play for Norway, and he of course would also be qualified to play for England, but England don't appear to be interested in calling him up to their squad. So there seems to be a bit of a battle now between Denmark and Norway to give him full international honours. And of course, O'Reilly has had a successful under-21 career with Denmark. I think if we could sign both O'Reilly and Hatate between now and the winter transfer window, it would be a good reward for both the club and the players. There was quite a lot of transfer interest for O'Reilly in the summer transfer window, and Celtic turned down two bids from Leeds and also a bid from Bologna in Italy. And there were said to be several English Premier League clubs also interested in him. And I think his very successful start to the season in Scotland may well attract further interest in the winter transfer window, and so signing him on a contract extending past his current one of 2026 would be a very good option for Celtic. In the news also, one of our great ex-goalkeepers, Artur Burak, has been suggesting that Joe Hart remains a good option as number one goalkeeper for Celtic, and was praising him in terms of his skills, leadership on the pitch, and leadership in the dressing room. And I think certainly Joe Hart would remain as the number one goalkeeper of those that we have available, although I do feel Celtic should really pursue the interest in Kevin Kelleher, the backup goalkeeper at Liverpool, who is said to be very keen to come to Celtic and very keen to establish himself as a number one goalkeeper. Kelleher is currently 24. He does have a couple of years left on his contract at Liverpool, but it is said that Celtic and Liverpool were discussing options in the summer transfer window, and I think Celtic should really pursue the interest in Kelleher in the winter transfer window with a view to signing him then, or at the very least signing him in the summer of 2024 as a replacement for Joe Hart. Also of interest has been an interview with Tomoki Iawata, where he has been talking about his desire to get more first team minutes for Celtic, and would appear to have had some reassurances from Brendan Rodgers that he will be getting used more in first team selections over the next few matches. And of course, with the bans for Lagerbielka and home in the next European match, Iwata would be a very good bench player to cover for both of those. It's hoped that Cameron Carter-Vickers might be back for the Lazio match, and so I wouldn't expect Iwata to start. However, having him on the bench would be good coverage for midfield, centre back, and full backs, as Iwata has played in all those positions with great success in Japanese football. And the other role that he played in Japanese football to great effect was as a marking midfielder, nullifying the other team's strikers or attacking midfielders. And so I do wonder whether Rodgers may tweak his tactics to use Iwata more as a marking midfielder to nullify the star players of Lazio and Atletico Madrid in the next couple of matches, whilst also still using McGregor, Hatate, and O'Reilly in front of them. I think that may well be a very good option. It does kind of break from Rodgers' usual style of play, but I think for European success, that defensive midfielder role may be best played by Iawata. But we'll see what develops in the next few Champions League fixtures. Coming back to the goalkeepers for Celtic, of course, due to Joe Hart's red card at Livingston, he will be banned for the next match at Motherwell. There is some confusion as to how many games Joe Hart will need to serve for that red card. However, the match report from John Beaton, the referee, was that Hart was sent off for denying a goal scoring opportunity rather than sent off for violent conduct or a reckless challenge. And so this should be a one match ban rather than a two match ban. I haven't seen official confirmation, but having checked the SFA and SPL sites, the red card offence that Hart was sent off for on Saturday is, by their rules, a red card only, and a one-match ban only. Having said that, Celtic obviously had two options to replace him. Scott Bain, who of course came on as a substitute on Saturday, and for me looked very shaky, very uncertain, was not in charge of his defence, very confused as to which ball to come for, which balls to leave, didn't seem to have any interaction or understanding with Johnston, Taylor, Scales, or Lagerbielke, and looked very unsteady and uncertain with the ball at his feet. And luckily, Livingston didn't really have any proper shots on goal, as every time they got anywhere near the goal, I was fearful that Bain would have a blunder. Remembering, of course, last season in his one game he came in to replace Joe Hart. He did concede 4 goals and looked very, very, very dodgy. Having said that, Scott Bain has actually played 76 games for Celtic with 39 clean sheets, and in his career for all teams, 328 games with 105 clean sheets, which actually are both pretty good statistics. In essence, at Celtic, he has a clean sheet every 2 matches he's played for Celtic, which is a good statistic. Benjamin Siegrist is the other option. He's only played 2 League Cup matches for Celtic, with 1 clean sheet in those games, and over his career, 234 games with 77 clean sheets. So by stats, Scott Bain would look like he is the better option. I was actually very impressed with Benjamin Siegrist during his time at Dundee United, and was pleased when Celtic did bring him to the club. However, he hasn't really had much of an opportunity in the first team to show his skills, and seems now to be down to number 3 in the pecking order, and was expected to leave in the summer had Celtic managed to sign a third goalkeeper, and so may well be leaving in the winter transfer window for the same reason. I have, as I said, popped a little poll question in the community section to see whether you think we should go with Bain or Siegrist for the Motherwell match in replacing Joe Hart during his ban. And also feel free to pop any comments regarding that or any other issues in the comment section. I personally would go for Benjamin Siegrist, assuming that he has kept himself fully fit and in training and inter-squad matches, etc. As I think he is a more reassuring, safe option in goals. I do, however, believe that Brendan Rodgers will go with Scott Bain, simply because Scott Bain has been the one who's been involved in all the matchday squads this season so far, and of course is our backup goalkeeper in Europe also. However, it will be interesting to see what your own preferences are, and so feel free to pop the comments in the comment section and have a go at both the quiz question in the community section and vote in the online poll in the community section as well. So, thanks for listening, thanks for watching today, goodbye, speak again tomorrow, and hail, hail!